There's only ever going to be one blade. That's going to be great. Bring Mahershala Ali in and have him immediately killed by Wesley Snipes' blade. Far away, Lucas, and lovely audience at home. Same question. Who is your favourite member of the Fantastic Four?
God, it's got to be Malice at this point, right?
Well, it's got to be the skin of Malice in Marvel Rivals, right?
Of course, yeah.
It's a fairly well-known fact in nerdy circles, and if you're watching this video after clicking on it because of the thumbnail, you're in those circles. I'm sorry to be the one to let you know that in 1994, a studio released a movie starring the Fantastic Four for no other reason than to hold on to the rights.
Doom, it's Clobberin time.
What is perhaps less well known about that movie, though, is that the actors who appeared in it spent a not inconsiderable amount of time, effort, and money trying to get it made, even though it was never going to see the light of day.
So what is the benefit of trying to get that shit show actually made if nothing else, it's going to be a blemish on their CV and on their portfolio, right?
I guess to put us all on the same page, for anyone out there who's wholly unfamiliar with what I'm talking about here, in 1994, they made a Fantastic Four movie just to hold on to the rights. And those rights at the time were held by a guy called, I have his name here, Bernd Ikinger. And he was a German-born filmmaker who just really liked the Fantastic Four. And he supposedly personally approached Stan Lee to be like, hey, I want to make a Fantastic Four movie. Can I make a Fantastic Four movie? And Stan Lee was more than happy to sign over the rights. And Ikinger got a laughably good deal if you consider how valuable Marvel's characters and properties are now. And Lucas, are you familiar with just that time where Fox were just not letting go of the X-Men?
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Yeah, of course, and a lot of that came down to the fact that, at one point, Marvel Comics, because they weren't, the big, massive Marvel studios just yet, they were just Marvel Comics for the most part, and they had, some projects in terms of movies and TV shows, but they weren't the juggernaut they were. They were, in fact, going out of business and becoming bankrupt, so just started selling rights to characters left, right, and centre.
Yes, including the Fantastic Four. And in regards to Ikinger, he couldn't actually get the rights to the Fantastic Four right away, because when he went to buy the rights to the Fantastic Four from Stan Lee had to inform him, we've already sold the rights to Johnny Storm specifically. Not any, just Johnny Storm, to a guy from Universal who wants to make a Johnny Storm cartoon. That deal never went anywhere, and the rights referred back to Marvel. And Stan Lee, went and spoke to him. This Ikinger guy seems legit. He wants to make a Fantastic Four movie. Give him the rights. And something that's often lost in the source when discussing this is that Ikinger didn't get the rights to the Fantastic Four as characters. He got the rights to the Fantastic Four comic books, and that distinction was very important because it didn't mean that Ikinger had the exclusive worldwide rights to make movies about the Fantastic Four. He had the exclusive worldwide rights to make movies about anything that had ever been mentioned or introduced in a Fantastic Four comic book. So it effectively gave him complete access to all of Cosmic Marvel.
Yeah, because a lot of those things would have been introduced through Fantastic Four because Galactus was a Fantastic Four villain, and a lot of those stemmed from the Galactus side of things.
Yes, and Ikinger owned those rights free and clear, and under the terms of the deal he signed with Marvel, all he had to do is make a Fantastic Four movie every 7 years. And you might be thinking, well, I've never heard of this Ikinger dude, but I've heard of Fox, who had a similar deal with the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Well, Fox bought the rights off of Ikinger, and when they did, they got the same deal because they bought his contracts out from under him.
Yeah, and it is wild because, the MCU started with essentially the Goober Squad, the B or C team.
Yeah, and I've written an article for Today I Found Out. I'm not sure if it's been made into a video yet, but it's a really comprehensive overview of how Iron Man got to be made. And something that I found out while I was researching that fascinated me is that when Marvel were making the Iron Man movie, to get funding for it, they had to sell or leverage the rights to every other character they owned. to get funding because no company wanted to give them funding for a movie about Iron Man. And they basically like went and just to a bank and went, okay, as collateral, we're going to give you the fucking Avengers.
Is that everyone? Like you wanted more?
And I found that ironic, and the way I summed that up in the script that I wrote is, well, it's kind of fitting when you think about it, right? The Avengers bankrolled Iron Man in our world because in their world, Iron Man bankrolls them.
Like, that's the thing. Avengers aren't the big Marvel team. X-Men are the big Marvel team, and Spider-Man is the big Marvel character, and the Fantastic Four are the first family of Marvel, and the only one they managed to get, while still letting Universal make the movie, was the Hulk. That was the only real big Marvel character that would be considered like an actual A-lister of Marvel at the time.
Yeah, and like I said, that script, when I was researching it, was fascinating, and there's so many like little details that I found out about that I had never heard before, and hopefully when that video gets made, people similarly find it interesting. Like, and in regards to today's video, the detail that I found amusing was, yeah, Marvel had to just leverage the fucking Avengers. And if that Iron Man movie would have failed, they'd have lost the Avengers to just a fucking bank. And we'd have had a bank that owned the Avengers.
We're not very far off at this point, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like Marvel's effectively a bank, right? But in regards to Ikinger, when he got the rights to the Fantastic Four, the story goes that like he tried, and he really did try, to make a good Fantastic Four movie. But when he pitched it to studios to get some funding, every single one of them told him to do one. Because his ideas were just too outlandish and too ridiculously difficult to accomplish with the CGI and limited special effects of the day. For example, he wanted to put the Silver Surfer in the movie. And they're like, well, how the fuck are we going to realise a Silver Surfer with, like, 1990s technology? Like, this is, like, keep in mind, when he was shopping this around, this is, like, pre-Jurassic Park.
The budget for Marvel superhero films wouldn't have been massive at the time.
Yeah,
right?
like the comparison you had at like the time he was shopping this around was like that Captain America movie, where Captain America's like primary superpower is pretending to have a stomachache.
Is it the film, or was it like a TV show or something where he had like a translucent plastic shield?
It might have been that film, because that's the film where they give him like the rubber ears on his helmet because they didn't give a fuck. Like, that's the level of like superhero media you were getting. And in comparison, Ikinger was like asking for the equivalent of $200 million. And a $200 million Marvel movie sounds reasonable today, but when like $200 million for a movie was completely unheard of. Especially for a superhero movie, every single studio told to fuck off.
The Avengers, like, Infinity War Endgame duo of movies cost around $500 million to make.
Yeah, and like Ikinger wanted to spend the equivalent of like Endgame on a Fantastic Four movie, and just understandably, every studio he approached with that in mind balked at the idea. And the story goes that he was really annoyed about this because he liked the Fantastic Four. And he decided to look at his contracts, and he realised that nowhere in his contracts that he signed with Marvel did it say you had to make a good movie. Or even an expensive movie. He just had to make a movie.
Genetically transformed, they become the most powerful superheroes of all time.
Which would then obviously get him another 7 years to make an actual movie that he wanted to make, right?
And that was his plan. So what he did is he scrounged up $1 million and contacted B-movie auteur Roger Corman. And they started talking about, like, okay, how do we make this movie real cheap? Also, the rights run out on, like, I think January 1st, 1994. And he asked Roger Corman, okay, so should we start making the movie now? Or should we start making it, like, on the day the rights are about to expire? Like, what would you recommend? Because I'm worried that if we do it on the day the rights are about to expire, Marvel will know what I'm doing. And Roger Corman told him, like, who gives a shit? They're going to know anyway. So just do it now. So they just made the movie then.
So would that count? It was that a production had to be in the works by that point, not necessarily the movie being released.
Yes, and that's one of the things Roger Corman helped him with, supposedly, where Roger Corman, as a B-movie auteur who knew how to beg, borrow, and steal his way to getting a movie made. He knew how to fart that thing over the finish line.
But assuming I count the ones in which I'm co-producer or producing with somebody else, I think it's around 450 or a little more. We're shooting at the moment, and so it'll go up one more within a couple of weeks.
We don't even need to finish the movie. It just needs to be in production when we enter 1994. I can make a movie in a month. We do know the rough terms of a deal that Ikinger signed with Marvel, because he'd brag about it all the time, because he was very proud of the fact that he managed to come up with this idea of, well, if I just fart out a crappy Fantastic Four movie, it's only going to cost $1 million, I get to hold on to the rights for 7 more years, and hopefully, when that 7 years is up, technology has progressed enough for me to be able to make the movie that I want. And if anyone's curious, well, did he ever get to make the movie he wanted? Fox bought the rights, so surely he didn't, right? Well, no, he was an executive producer on Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Let's all go for a spin!
Oh, god damn it.
Well, obviously that movie fucking sucked, but he did get to make his dream Fantastic Four movie. He got to make the movie he wanted. He's had to wait 20 years.
Got a say in that movie, right? Not necessarily made it himself.
And presumably that was part of the deal he struck with Fox, right? That if they ever used the rights that he had to make a movie, they had to give him a producer's credit at the very least and give him something approaching creative control on it. But yeah, he was an executive producer on Rise of a Silver Surfer.
And that thing is, a lot of the time, executive producer can be something as simple as again, you signed a contract over to us, or you gave us X amount of money, and we'll just slap your name in there. You had nothing to do with it, really.
It was Stan Lee was an executive producer on every single Marvel movie, right? And that was
it's
largely
not as if he was sat in creative decisions on every single movie that he was executive producing. It's just he was one of the founders of Marvel, and I wonder whether Jack Kirby is classified as executive producer on any of this shit.
I don't know, and it's that's a whole other kettle of fish. But I think it is interesting that eventually he did get to make his Fantastic Four movie. They did get to put the Silver Surfer in it.
Help make it happen, right? Yeah.
But in regards to the 1994 Fantastic Four movie that cost $1 million, exactly whether or not it was ever meant to see the light of day is a contentious subject. Because Ikinger would change his story over the years, and Roger Corman would similarly just flip-flop on whether or not it was ever supposed to see the light of day. One group of people, though, who absolutely were convinced that this movie was going to be released were the actors who appeared in it.
The Fantastic Four.
You're not going to tell actors, hey, we're farting this piece of shit out, to not even put it out.
Yeah, they didn't know, and they reportedly acted under the assumption that the movie would get made. And they, as mentioned in the intro, put a not insignificant amount of effort into helping get this thing made. For example, when production wrapped and they got ghosted by Ikinger and Corman, they started doing promotion on their own.
But I guess, if you're convinced that this is going to be your big breakout role, you kind of would, right?
Yeah. So one of the things that they did is, they tracked down the costume designer and they asked them, do you have our costumes? Because he's like, yeah. Why? Can we have those? And they got those costumes and on their own, started doing publicity for the movie. And they went to Comic-Con. They signed posters. They mocked up a poster. They got the editors on the film to throw together a trailer that they could show at Comic-Con. They would go to malls and stuff like that and sign things in costume. Hey, I'm Mr. Fantastic. This is Susan Storm. Here's the thing. Let us sign your movie. Do you want us to do promotion for it?
And that's seemingly kind of what the joke is in Arrested Development, right? Is that people are running around claiming to be the Fantastic Four and then getting copyright strikes sent to them and cease and desist and stuff because no, officially you are not. You can't be doing this.
That's presumably what that is a reference to. But we're not done, because in addition to doing that, they also managed to contact the editors who are working on the movie. And they asked them, well, have you been paid? No. Is the movie done? Also no. Okay, how much do you need? $20,000. Okay, so the actors scraped together some amount of money to pay the editors to finish the movie on their own time. Those editors even went as far as borrowing, quote unquote, some stock footage and footage from other movies they were working on, slotting it into that movie to create something workable. The person doing the music also on their own dime did the music for the film, because they were under the assumption that when it got finished they'd get royalties or something like that, and because the actors were just really, really passionate about getting the thing made.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, it never got an official release. It
got this close
for a little while.
This is where it's really frustrating, because it got this close. So, after the actors had worked their arse off promoting it all off their own back, they managed to cobble together a work print. And they'd been doing publicity. Like I said, they'd been to Comic-Con, they had publicists, they were doing interviews with Nerd Interest magazines, they were signing things in costume as the characters. They cobbled together that work print and arranged to have a screening at a mall. And that was going to be the big reveal. It's going to be the premiere of the Fantastic Four movie. And depending on who you ask, it was either the week before, or in some versions, the day of. They just got a cease and desist that just said no. It's not happening.
Which is fair, because they don't own it.
Well, that's the thing as well. Joe did own it at that point. Avi Arad.
Wait, is Avi Arad not a Sony?
So the story goes that Avi Arad, who was working at Marvel at the time, started hearing rumours that there were people out there claiming to be the Fantastic Four, because they were getting reached out to by trade publications of hey, are you making a Fantastic Four movie? No. Well, there's people we've talked to who say they're the Fantastic Four. They're going to show a movie with the Fantastic Four. Here's a picture of them in costume. They're signing it as your characters. Do you not know anything about this? And Avi Arad combed through the archives and realised, oh shit, we sold the rights to the Fantastic Four to this German dude. The rights were meant to revert to us. Oh, he made the movie? Oh god, he got Roger Corman? That guy? Oh god, $1 million? Oh fuck, who's it start? Fucking nobody, and who gives a shit? Oh, this is gonna be terrible. So he called up Ikinger and was how much? He's like, what? How much to buy it off you? And if you're thinking here, buy the rights? No. Avi Arad wanted the film. So the rights still belong to Ikinger at this point. Avi Arad just wanted the rights to the film. And Ikinger just said, $2 million.
Let's just make a profit off of this piece of shit, right?
Double the profit, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Not many movies can double their profit before they've even been released, right? So just Avi Arad went, yep, $2 million, perfect, I'll give you that. Ikinger literally doubled his money, held on to the rights for another 7 years, eventually sold it to Fox and made his fortune that way. And Avi Arad just sent that cease and desist to the poor actors who spent about 6 months trying to get this thing made, telling them that it didn't belong to them anymore, it belonged to him.
And Bert came to me just before with a check and said, here's the check, I'm buying the picture.
Yeah, because for the longest time, people always said there was this legendary footage that was shown off at a Comic-Con or whatever, and that was the only piece of footage that was ever existent to the public.
Yeah, and obviously I've been putting clips in throughout this entire video, so it obviously exists, and the quality...
Have you?
Yeah, because it exists. You can go watch it right now.
You can't.
It's on YouTube. Avi Arad...
Oh, no, it's not.
Is it not? You couldn't find it?
No, it's not anymore, because the Fantastic Four trailer came out for the new movie, and about the same day, oh yeah, that shit got taken the fuck down.
Okay, in which case then, I will acquire a copy of it from somewhere online. I'll be putting clips in.
Hang on, Victor.
Honestly, I presume it's still on the Internet Archive.
If it's on the internet, it's not. You're not fucking deleting off the internet, right? It's there.
Yeah.
It exists. Someone got a copy. The quality of that copy is not great, but one of the ironies, I guess, of this whole thing is that even though that movie was made for $1 million and no one gave a shit, it held the highest rating for a Fantastic Four movie. And still presumably does until the release of that new Fantastic Four movie, and hopefully that'll be better. But yeah, Like that first Fantastic Four movie, like Jessica Alba and Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis, that and The Rise of the Silver Surfer both had a lower rating than the 1994 version.
I think for $1 million, it's a pretty good film. I think people think of it affectionately.
After 22 years, people are still talking about this movie, and I doubt seriously in 22 years from now they'll be talking about the other Fantastic Four movies.
And you could goddamn bet your ass that Fan Four Stick did.
In fact, yeah, Fan Four Stick also fucking sucked ass. And it's a shame as well because the actors, they tried and they didn't have a lot to work with, but there's some stories from behind the scenes. So I did an article about this today. I found out, and a detail that I just found like, okay, they tried. They didn't have a lot to do, but they tried. Like for example, like the actor who played the Thing. There was 2 actors playing the Thing. Like one guy who played him in the costume, one guy who played him before he transformed. Those 2 actors like spent like several weeks just learning how to walk like each other. So that when the Thing became the Thing, the guy would still be acting and talking like he did in his human form, but just as a giant rock monster. I appreciate that he did that. Like, for example, the costumes as well. The costume designer made not great costumes, but they looked fairly close to what they do in the, like, you know, the original, like, comic books. They look pretty decent.
They were very clearly cheaply made because it was a cheap movie, but it was still, like, semi-comic book accurate.
Yeah, not to mention, like, the guy playing Mr. Fantastic looks like the actors look like the characters. They look pretty decent. The effects are terrible. Well, they fucking tried. They had $1 million to make it. And for that reason,
it's clearly a movie where some people gave a shit and they stayed relatively true to the characters and the source material, but yet they were just making it on a shoestring budget without really, maybe never intending to release it.
My name is Doom.
Like I said, they tried real hard because for those actors, they were thinking it's going to be their big break, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you do feel for the actors because imagine, like, you know, you fast forward like 3 or 4 years after that movie got shit canned, and you got like Spider-Man came out, right? And Spider-Man does fucking gangbusters, and you look, they must have looked at that and been like, that could have been us.
It was a different Marvel. It was before the ascension of these wonderful leaders who have valued, who have determined value for their intellectual property.
X-Men was what, 5 years after, like 99? So yeah, I think X-Men was the first one to come out that popped off, but that was literally within like 5 years.
I think Blade first. I think Blade came out first.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Blade was 98.
Blade did. Yeah.
That was like 4 years later. And they must have like looked. If I was, I'd be pissed off as all hell, right? If like you look at something like Blade, which was made for like, you know, like $20-30 million more. Marvel actually gave a shit. They gave it its blessing, and you know, kickstarted an entire franchise, and they got jack shit.
God, like I'm still frustrated. Like, how is it that we're living in a modern day where MCU keeps just putting out like multiple projects a year and they can't figure out a Blade?
Do you know what, like, I love about Blade? So, again, I researched this for today. I found out ages, and I never found a way to slot it into the article, but it cracked me the fuck up. Do you know, in an early cut of one of the Blade movies, they had like an MCU-style post-credit scene with Morbius? They were gonna
like,
name drop
Morbius or anything, just like
not Jared Leto Morbius, but they name drop Morbius as a potential villain for a follow-up film,
which is great, right? Morbius is like a half vampire.
Yeah, he'd been a great villain. It was just the fact Morbius was potentially going to be one of those movies.
Then you're back on the clock.
Next, Blade whips ass. Blade's great.
Never forget, just 90s Spider-Man Morbius with little hand suckers because he couldn't suck blood out of people, like, for age rating's sake.
Like, Blade whipped all kinds of ass. Like you said, I don't know how the MCU keep messing it up. If, like, get Mahershala Ali in a trench coat and have me fucking just backflip kick vampires for 90 minutes, done.
Out of all Marvel movies, it can't be that hard to make Blade good. It's just get the dude I said just backflipping around and shooting vampires and shit.
They literally filmed Blade 3 when Wesley Snipes wasn't there. They filmed Blade without Blade. Because like Wesley Snipes hated like the director of Blade 3 and just would not turn up and he would be in his trailer getting high. And they just filmed like 70% of that movie with Wesley Snipes reaction shots. And they still managed to make a competent Blade movie without Blade.
Freeze! Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
I think that is one of the earliest kind of people on set to be like, yeah, I fucking hate Ryan Reynolds, right?
It's like him and Ryan Reynolds really didn't get on. It was a great part of the like making of Deadpool Wolverine, where they interview like Wesley Snipes, and he goes, "Yeah, me and Ryan didn't get on making that fucking Blade movie."
I wonder how much they interacted with each other nowadays with Deadpool and Blade. I wonder whether they just like shot them in separate scenes for the most part.
I think what they did is they probably called up Wesley Snipes, went, "Wesley, do you want $12 million? Like, I'll have $12 million, thank you."
I received a message from Ryan, and he said, "Give me a call." I thought it was kind of odd. I said, what could this guy be calling me for?
Yeah. How much money is enough money for you to not give a shit about Ryan Reynolds being on the same set?
It's like, Wesley Snipes, have you finished paying off all your tax bills yet? It's like, no, I haven't. Easy money, baby. Let's get him in. I will give him props, though, because when he's like in the interview, he's still shit-talking the movie, even though he's in it. Because he like looks at the costume, and he's like, the costume that I wore back in the 90s, shit, I drip. This shit sucks.
This costume is a little different from the one we had before. It's less shiny. Yeah, it's less sparkly. I don't have the same drip that I had in the other ones.
Blade had drip in the 90s. He ain't got it no more. It was like, he did.
To be fair, he is right on that one. Like, that was a generic-ass Blade outfit.
It's like, it's not even shiny.
No.
It's not even shiny. What are you doing? He doesn't, like, fucking do a single backflip. What's going on?
But he does say there's only one blade. I do appreciate that.
It's one of the funniest lines, right? Of like, there's only ever going to be one blade. It's like, you're right. There only ever is going to be
there
one.
might be.
What's your favourite cameo in that? And why is it when they just say Ben Affleck died and no one gives a fuck? Is that the best bit,
just
right?
Jennifer Garner being like, you know what? Don't give a shit about Ben Affleck anymore.
It's like, yeah, Ben Affleck, Daredevil died. And it's like, who gives a fuck?
Oh, God. Like, obviously, my favourite cameo was Laura Kinney coming back, but it was great just seeing Jennifer Garner come in like, yeah, absolutely fuck Ben Affleck.
A lot less skin. Elektra always had a lot more midriff showing, which we wouldn't need that now. That's not necessary. Elektra's had 3 kids.
So one actor that I want to shout out from like Deadpool Wolverine is Emma Corrin. I love their performance as Cassandra Nova because just they played that role so well. And I love that they perfectly blended like the James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart performances.
A Wolverine! I wondered when I'd get one of you.
And also just the creepy long fingers that they kept putting in people's heads.
Oh, it's so good. It's like any other like the moments in that film, because like you said, like Daphne Keane came back and it's like, yeah, little baby Wolverine. Did you forget how good her performance was in Logan? She was like 8, right?
She was young. I can't remember whether she was like maybe like 10 or something. But the fact that she gave an incredible performance in 2 languages, because there's that moment where she just like cusses them the fuck out.
It's my favourite part of Logan, because that's the moment Logan realises that it's his daughter, right? Where he looks, when she's yelling at him, he just sees like the mini feral animal. It's like, fuck, it is her, damn it! It's like, there's no denying that that's his kid when she starts screaming in Spanish, like, fuck.
And I am not taking you. Don't fucking hit me! Don't hit me!
Jonah, Gideon, Rebecca, Delilah, Victor,
Stop saying
Jonah,
those names.
Oh, god damn. But yeah, just like Daphne Keane, I should say, with playing Laura Kinney is like maybe my favourite part of that movie. And just the fact that, like, gone from, I should say, like, feral child X-23 to just disappointed daughter, or like, you know, it's a weird relationship, right? Because they're more like a clone than a daughter, but essentially daughter. And it's just like, oh man, you would have been there. Why weren't you there?
You can talk. You can talk.
well, speaking of like behind the scenes stuff and Wesley Snipes, like Blade Has No Drip, there's a fantastic like behind the scenes thing from the making of Logan, where they gave Daphne Keane her Wolverine claws. And she was really excited to get her little baby Wolverine claws. It was like a great...
I would be.
Yeah, there's like a great behind-the-scenes bit where they give her like the special shoes that give her Wolverine claws. And she's just there like, yay! I get to murder people! It was like a really great like photo she took with Hugh Jackman where she's wearing his giant claws.
Oh, that's really cute.
It's so good. Like, that's the fight, like their like acting against each other is so great. And I love that they do the classic superhero thing, like when she runs and jumps off his back, right? During the fight.
Honestly, not only one of like the child performances that didn't completely take me out of the movie, but one that I actually enjoyed and appreciated. Obviously, a lot of the time, she just sat there silently angry at people.
But she just mean-mucking people like left, right, and centre. Well, it's like one of the best parts of the film.
Trying to eat a cereal and someone tries to come in and kill her and she's like, you fucked up, man.
Yeah, it's like when she's just stealing stuff. It's like she walks into the gas station. It's like, I'm sorry, you're not allowed to take that. It's like, well, how about I whip out my 100% off coupon? Just shoo.
Come on. That's enough. These two.
It's great, right?
Just, no, you're not allowed to just murder people that don't want you to steal.
It's like, you do. It's like, shit, I do that. I am the Wolverine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to just seeing, like, all those actors and more come back for Doomsday. Because I guess we've got to reference the fact, like, yeah, here's just, like, the cast list for Doomsday, and he's fucking everybody, right?
It's just... You remember that guy that recorded Shang-Chi fighting on his phone on the bus?
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's in it. Fuck it.
Why not? Put him in it.
The Spider-Man do a flip dude. Yeah, he's there. It is wild just how many things they were pulling out their ass for that one of like, get excited. We spent $1 billion on the casting budget for this one.
Yeah. Get everyone's backs. I bet as well, like, the more Marvel movies they make and the more people they bring back in, 'cause one of the things that's like, as much as people want to criticize it, when you watch those behind the scenes featurettes, and you can say, well, that's like, you know, Marvel is like recording those. They're not going to have people saying bad things. You look at the like just the candid footage though, and everyone's having fun because of course they are. They get to dress like a superhero and get paid $1 million to do fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. And how much would you pop off if the 94 Fantastic Four appeared?
They might. They fucking might at this rate, right? They give. Joe, what? I think they should bring them back. Like when like the Flash movie has that like super cringy moment where they put like a CGI like George Reeves in black and white, using
God,
AI to like expand the frame, and it was like, well, you could have just dug up his skeleton and beat it with like a shovel, and it would have been less offensive.
And they like AI generated Nicolas Cage fighting like a spider or something as Superman.
As I said, like digging up the actor's corpse and beating their skeleton a little bit would have been less offensive to their memory. Like, fuck it, just get those actors who played the Fantastic Four and bring them back in for a cameo. They probably have a lot of fun doing it. I think it was a great interview. It's like Hugh Jackman and Ian McKellen were on like the Graham Norton show. And like you see like Ian McKellen, like when they're talking to Hugh Jackman about Wolverine, and Ian McKellen's like, can you make another one? I want to be in it. Because he just wants to hang out with Hugh Jackman. He's like, you know what? Yeah, make another one. Fuck it.
Oh, I'm not sure what I'd pop off harder for. Like Wesley Snipes appearing in Deadpool, or just watching David Cross in the fake The Thing skin come in from Arrested Development.
Okay, so...
Is there a little girl here all by herself? And perhaps it was this that would finally get him to admit that he sometimes did speak in a misleading way. Daddy needs to get his rocks off.
In that vein, Lucas, what would be the most out-of-pocket character they could put in to Doomsday? Because I think it might be the Fantastic Four from this movie.
Yeah, I think the 94 Fantastic Four might be the furthest pull that they can get, right?
Unless they, like, somehow track down one of the people from, like, that Captain America movie from, like, the 80s. I'm not even sure if that dude's still alive. I'll double-check. Maybe he is. Maybe he's still knocking about.
They've already brought... they did the classic of they brought Lou Ferrigno back for like the Incredible Hulk, right?
He always comes back in and like I think they usually layer his voice lines onto the Hulk's, right? He always gets his reference.
I was really wanting to make sure that I kept the character of Dr. Banner in Hulk, to some extent, as well as Lou Ferrigno, who seemed to have a real knack for just who this character was. And I also just was really honored to be able to use those.
Maybe those weird. Oh no, actually, no, Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh, who the fuck was Japanese? Who cares? Bring him back.
Put Japanese Spider-Man in it
and his robot. Japanese Spider-Man and his robot. Let's fucking go. That'll be a give his machine gun. When Japanese Spider-Man with his machine gun in his net.
Oh, I can't even remember what the mecha's called that he brings
Leopardon.
Leopardon, yeah. Like, if we got Leopardon come in to try and tackle Doctor Doom out of frame, just goddamn
That'd be great. Like, you know what, Japanese Spider-Man would be a shout. I'd also like there's a couple of the Netflix shows I don't want to see the actors in, but just if they got back like Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, just because.
You know what? It would be fantastic to see, like, we all spawn in on Battle World, and immediately Doctor Doom goes, I'm not fucking around and murders Finn Jones, second one.
No, do you know what I want it to be? Do you remember Mortal Kombat Apocalypse, where it's everybody who's been in Mortal Kombat up to that point? And the opening cutscene is 50% of Mortal Kombat's roster dies. Straight away, I think it's second one, Stryker just cold cocks Melina and kills her instantly. Do that with the jobbers from those Netflix shows, Finn Jones gets just instantly fucking murked by Shang-Chi or something.
Well, it should just be 50 variations, 50 variants of Finn Jones as Iron Fist. Just all of them come in and I've brought in every single Finn Jones Iron Fist from every multiverse in existence. They're all dead. We're never getting, he'll confirm him.
Or do it have you seen the pitch someone has had for the Helldivers movie? You need to get the Helldivers movie, all the Helldivers played by the biggest name actors you can find. And just every 5 minutes kill one of them off and have them replaced by another actor and never mention it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do it like that. Have Finn Jones walk into frame, get immediately fucking killed by another Iron Fist. And the other Iron Fist takes his mask off and it's another Finn Jones.
It's Expendables, but when you replace one Helldiver with another, you have to act as if they're the exact same Helldiver.
Yeah.
But it's a brand new, as I say, quote-unquote expendable style action movie star.
Oh, what you do is you bring in Ben Affleck as Daredevil. It turns out he wasn't dead. Bring him back.
I wonder whether Ben Affleck could be more down to play Daredevil or Batman again.
He'd be 100% down to play Daredevil again.
The paycheck could be bigger, right?
Yeah, bring him in. If you told him Matt Damon will be in it, he'll definitely turn up. Give Matt Damon his cameo as the one member of Asgard who just plays Loki, right?
Yeah.
bring those dipshits in. Who cares? Hella. Oh man, bring Kate Blanchett in. Just put her in the outfit again. Don't even make her act. Put her in the outfit again, please.
They'll get AI to just take footage from.
Well, I think Marvel won't do that because they can actually afford to get the actors in, and also the actors want to be in those movies.
Oh yeah.
Right, so yeah, folks at home, let's hear your most out of pocket pulls for Doomsday, because clearly that cast list is not the full cast list, right? It's not going to be everybody.
Yeah, the fact that that's the day one, no spoilers version of the cast list, and it's already 50 people long.
Nick Cage might turn up. Lucas, what do you do? Right, can you imagine if you're watching a scene and you just hear from offside of you can't live in fear, and you just see Nick Cage swagger in from stage right as the Ghost Rider,
just pissing fire everywhere
as the Ghost Rider.
Oh, never forget he did that. There's a scene in one of those Ghost Riders movies where he takes a piss everywhere as Ghost Rider and just spurts flames.
The only cool thing about that second Ghost Rider movie is when they establish that anything Ghost Rider drives instantly becomes his mount. And they have him go, well, what does that mean? It's he gets in a truck. Okay, now your truck becomes a flaming cool truck. That's awesome. And then he gets on the fucking land excavator. It just turns out the Hell Machine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, give him that, have Nick Cage turn up flying the SHIELD helicarrier.
No, have him turn up just Combine Harvester.
No, have him turn up on that little scooter that Mark Ruffalo rides. Have him ride the Marvel equivalent of Scooty Puff Jr. and rock up. I think we could have that, Lucas. We could, in a couple of years' time, we could be sat here still making fact fiend videos talking about how hype was it when Nicolas Cage turned up and killed Finn Jones.
How hype was it that Idris Elba came back and he wasn't Heimdall? He was the guy from Ghost Rider 2 that tried to exercise Ghost Rider.
I forgot he was in that. Because there's 4 actors in Hollywood, right? Oh, fucking hell. Get Anthony Hopkins back in, who gives a shit. Do it, I don't care. Bring them all in. I would like to see all the old actors, fucking just get some skeletons in there. Get someone who died and put them in.
Oh, we could finally get Marvel's unkillable mutant back from the dead.
Oh yeah, bring the guy who plays Darwin back and kill him again. Kill him again. They've got to do that, right? Bring him back and have it turn out that he was there all along and he never died.
Oh no, just have it be that the first person Doctor Doom kills is the guy that can't just once again kill off Marvel's unkillable mutant instantly.
Yeah, one of Fact Fiend's most popular videos. Because it does fucking suck for that dude, right? It's just the way it's summed up that always makes me laugh is okay, Darwin, who are you? Well, my power is adapting to survive. It's well, your power's hard to explain and you're black, so good luck. And it's that's how the conversation went for the actor, right? And you feel so bad for him. Because that's what they said, right? It's your power's difficult to explain.
It's that's not a cool thing to show on screen, right? I'm sorry, it's way easier to just make someone look cool by fucking have them scream at the ocean and fly. I'm sorry, you need to die, Seymour. Just don't put him in. What's your one power? Oh, I'm unkillable. Die second one. Great.
It's all those X-Men as well. Do you think we're going to get is Halle Berry confirmed? I didn't look.
As Catwoman, though.
From DC.
Yeah.
Oh, she could do it. Why not? Fuck it, bring her in as Catwoman. She don't give a shit. It'd be great. So I think we could potentially alternate versions of characters. Give me the Halle Berry with the bad African accent.
Oh,
give me
God.
it. I need bad African accent Halle Berry back.
Bring Age of Ultron Scarlet Witch back in and just have Elizabeth Olsen be like, why the fuck are you talking like that?
Or bring both Quicksilvers.
No, they did.
Yeah.
But then they faked us out.
It was both Quicksilvers. You could do it. There's going to be so many, Luke. It's going to be hilarious. There's just I know it's going to be like when I watched Deadpool Wolverine for the first time and I fucking just burst out laughing. The moment Blade turned up, it's the only time I clapped. Just because I was genuinely laughing okay, you got me. I did not expect that. Mm-hmm. When fucking Gambit rocks, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That dipshit.
And then they lean into him being so shit as well.
Do you know what gets me, though? Speaking of behind the scenes conversations, you feel so bad for Channing Tatum if you go watch that making of. Because he talks about how, me and Ryan Reynolds, we're good friends. Actually, we got to know each other while he was promoting Blade 3. Because I was there promoting the Gambit movie. Because that's how long it was in pre-production.
Yeah, he had that movie deal signed off for 20 years or some shit.
He met Ryan Reynolds when Ryan Reynolds was advertising Blade fucking 3. That's how long it was in production, hell. And he wanted to do it the entire time.
Because he's just a fan of the character,
he just likes Gambit.
as we all should be. And, yeah, I love the fact as well that they all come in and my universe got destroyed this way, my universe got destroyed that way. And Gambit's I think I was just born in the void.
Yeah, I don't think my universe ever existed.
It's such a good joke.
So I don't remember anything. It's there's only one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade. That's going to be great. Bring Mahershala Ali in and have him immediately killed by Wesley Snipes' Blade. That's the only role we have. So fucking do it. It's great. Right. See everyone next time. Cheers.